Hi, welcome back to my day 3 journey of Pancharkarma. I didn't film for yesterday, but I think today will sort of nicely summarize everything. So day 3, I was actually constipated from day 1 of Pancharkarma. Don't know what went there, but look, I'm very used to having coffee every morning after breakfast and relying on that coffee to push things through. So I've always had that dryness in there and bean butter, of course. So having said that, Dr. Padma gave me snehana to do right before dinner last night. So I had the snehana, I had my then Shadaravati, and then I went and had my dinner. And let me tell you, this morning things burst out. So the snehana is essentially a medicated ghee. It's a small teaspoon. It's actually not that much at all. So I was wondering, is this really going to do the trick? And even this morning when I woke up, oh gosh, I think she should have just given it to me this morning. But it went. So snehana works. It's a legit story. If it works on me, it works. And then another issue that I've had ongoing for the past few days, or more of a query, is that ever since I finished my period and my banana treatment, I've had continuous discharge. So we're day 4 now. I've had for 4 days. It looks like period discharge, but what Padma has said actually is it's actually flushing out the toxins from the banana treatment, because if you watch my previous video, I talk about whether or not I was meant to do day 1 of Pancharkarma or continue with the banana treatment. But I definitely had an intuitive feeling, nope, today's the day. I felt better. I knew my period was over, even though I had that spotting, which was actually the discharge effect of banana treatment working, and it's still going. So that's actually really nice to know what that really implies. So if you're wondering, well, am I finishing my period or not when I do a banana treatment? And if you're the type of person that does not have any spotting usually, but then he sort of comes back and you're like, oh, what does this mean? Should I stop Pancharkarma? No, actually don't. Talk to the doctors, because it's probably actual discharge, the toxins releasing. And especially for me, that has a reproductive tissue imbalance. No diagnosis, but just the imbalance, getting rid of toxins is quite important. Now, today, day 4. Okay, I got to meet Dr. Krishna, so that was really exciting. Love talking to him, and he gave me incredible insight. And that was, after he told my pulse, he said, your main cause of effective issues generally for your body is your hormonal imbalance. And he said that your hormonal imbalance is indirectly affecting your digestion issues, as I've been talking about from the get-go, and obviously indirectly. And then he said, oh, you got anger management issues. So I'm like, well, yeah, kind of. Not so far, not lately, but I did earlier in the year. Got a lot of frustration. And so he said that basically the hormone imbalance, it's a bit of a vicious cycle, it affects your digestion, it affects your skin. I even asked him about the skin. It just affects all the pitta issues, essentially. So the hormonal imbalance is the underlying for my anger management, my skin issues, and so on. So what he actually suggested was to try a transcendental meditation. And I will do some Googling and researching on all of that. But essentially he said that it's more of he suggested that particularly because it's more of an effortless meditation. Whereas, for example, so early in the year, I've sort of learned other meditation techniques Ayurvedically, such as the candle meditations, having a candle in front of you, staring at the flame, or open and closed eyes versions. Now, he said it takes a lot of more effort to do that. So that's why he suggested try transcendental meditation, and he strongly recommends, not just for me, or particularly for me, directed at, but it's something to get on board with. And what he recommended is to do 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes before bedtime. And I said, well, that's a lot. like, can I stop doing this? 40 minutes a day when, like, you know, I'm not so angered out and my hormones are balanced out, you know? And he said, no, you have to continue. And what he went on to explain was that, look, when we wake up, we need to clear our emotions, our mind from our sleep and our worries from the sleep. Then at night, we need to clear out our mind and our worries and stresses from the daytime of the issues that have arisen. So I thought that was a fantastic explanation, because, you know, we may go to bed a bit worried. Maybe we're not completely cleared out. You know, we have dreams, we have our unconscious reality in us as well. So that's quite something to put on board if you're not meditating. To start with me, transcendental meditation, or the acronym is TM. Okay. So that was quite fascinating. Another thing that I have been lurking in my mind around, and that he brought up, and I actually brought up as well, you know, with your anger management, if you get angry and frustrated, like, is it a Rakta Dhatu issue or high Pitta issue, or is it your hormonal balance? And he said both. It's essentially both. It's a bit of this vicious cycle. So, you know, if your Pitta increases, your Rakta Dhatu is definitely going to be in excess or imbalanced in some way, of course. And he also, interestingly, what I learned fascinatingly today is your Pitta is directly affected or linked to your hormones. So, which is your Majja Dhatu. So if your Pitta is out of whack, your Majja Dhatu is going to be out of whack for sure. So for me, that was quite a massive learning curve and point that really was a light bulb moment for me. And interestingly, the first thing he said about balancing my hormones is actually meditation. So I'm definitely going to take that on board, start meditating, looking into transcendental meditation, and see how we go. Stay tuned for more. I am off in an hour to do my body therapies. So in my body therapies, I've got the list, and then in the afternoon, I do a separate therapy just for the busties on my front. So I've got my heart busty that I do, and then I do the navel, so here on the belly button, which is to promote the digestion, and then the busty in the reproductive area, which is essentially just below the navel, just below the belly button, and then the knees as well. So I've got 4 busties in the afternoon. So that's that. I'll see you back for more. Stay tuned.